So, you watched my last video on which Bloodborne weapons are the coolest, huh? And now you want to know which of Bloodborne's big baddies have the absolute best, most peak boss fights. Well, worry not, for that is precisely why I'm here, bringing you a new record for shortest video I've ever made to teach you about which of the bosses from the best game ever are absolute peak and which ones are absolute trash.
If you didn't watch the last video I did for Bloodborne rankings, or if you just forgot, this list is based purely on cool factor. The boss's arena, music, design, attacks, and any potential gimmicks will be what I'm accounting for. Not so much the difficulty, or if the boss is actually well designed. Although, if the boss is just straight dog shit, then it'll probably affect its cool factor.
Alright? Got all that? Great. Let's begin.
First up on our list, we have the Cleric Beast. And what a great introductory beast boss, although it is technically an optional fight. And the design of this thing is pretty crazy, honestly. You can tell it's supposed to be a beast because it shares those similarities to the ones you've already seen in Yharnam, but this one is so much worse. And honestly, it shows you just how bad the situation has gotten in Yharnam, to where the people who were supposed to be saving everyone, the church, their own people have turned into beasts that look like this. What the fuck? And the song that plays during this fight is godly. Honestly, it embodies the horrific realization of what you're getting into exactly as a new hunter. And unlike what a lot of other people would think, I think the arena is actually pretty good. It's narrow and claustrophobic, but not so much so that fighting is really that frustrating. You still have plenty of wiggle room to move around. All in all, the fight is really solid. I could do without the hearing damage, though.
Great, really solid introductory boss, even though he is optional, to the game. He's gonna go up in B tier.
Next up, we've got Father Gascoigne, and God, what an awesome intro cutscene this guy has. He is just oozing aura. Oh my God. This is our first intro to hunter fights, which if you ask me are the best kind of fights in this game. It's got some great and really memorable voice lines throughout too.
The sweet blood. Oh, it sings to me. It's enough to make a man sing.
Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. Gascoigne's song is also fantastic and just as iconic, if not more iconic, than Cleric Beast. And unlike Cleric Beast, which is pretty similar throughout its whole fight, Gascoigne has 3 distinct phases to keep you on your toes. Especially that third phase, because he just starts fucking going to town on you. Plus, bonus points for the very sad, but very cool little music box side quest that you can do.
And clearly FromSoft wanted to start this game with a bang, because it's the first proper boss of this game. Gascoigne is full of memorable and iconic moments, a great boss fight, and even that little quest. So, I mean, for all of that, yeah, he's going up into A tier.
Up next, we have the Blood-Starved Beast. And this thing has a very unnerving design. I don't think anyone was prepared for the flappy foreskin monster. The arena that you fight it in is also very ominous. It kind of gives you an end-of-the-line kind of vibe, if that makes sense. And this is the first time in the game, as well as, I guess, a lot of old Yharnam, where you have to worry about poison, but especially so during this boss, so I hope you've been stacking your antidotes. This guy has 3 phases that also progressively just get more annoying, really. It doesn't change his attacks that much, it just makes it worse to fight. The third phase, where he just automatically poisons you for being next to him, can just fucking suck a fart out of my ass, dude.
Blood-Starved Beast is alright. I think he's a bit forgettable, and the only reason we really remember him is that he's so early in the game. We haven't had much to process yet. But he's just fine. So, he's going in C tier.
Oh boy! Up next is Bloodborne's first gimmick fight, the Witches of Hemwick. This boss can be so confusing when you first play it because where is it? But this invisible hag makes you play hide and seek with her, which she sometimes decides to bring an IED to. And to make matters worse, she always teleports around after taking damage, and you just have to keep running around the room to try and find her, and God, it just makes you want to push Grandma down the stairs. But then to make matters even worse, after killing one witch, there's another one. Thus, witches plural of Hemwick. And you have to kill both of them shortly after each other, or else they'll revive. Oh, and this attack that freezes you like a Redditor seeing a woman for the first time is just delightfully shitty. You can be grabbed for a near insta-kill or just get jumped by the Ooby Goopy gang.
And before anyone says it in the comments, yes, I know you can cheese this fight if you have no insight, but that's not really how it was intended to be fought. And the boss still sucks anyway, so it's going down in D.
Next up on the list, we have a boss that's very important for progression. Vicar Amelia, aka Cleric Beast Part 2. 763 entries on Rule 34. It makes sense that Vicar Amelia is similar to the Cleric Beast since she too is a part of the church. And she does have more attack diversity than the Cleric Beast, but still nothing really that crazy going on. However, she does have a very annoying healing move that, yes, I know, it could be stopped with Numbing Mist, but that's a very limited item, and most people probably don't have many of them at this part of the game anyway. It's like, bro, what do you mean you didn't loot the dead homeless guy behind the Arby's and get his Fent pipe to throw at the boss? Really, there's not too much more to say about Amelia, though. The arena's cool at least, though.
I feel like more could have been done with Vicar Amelia, but still, it's a serviceable fight. There's nothing really that wrong with it, but there's nothing really spectacular about it either. So, we're gonna go C tier.
Next up, we have the hidden boss, Martyr Logarius. And damn, Unk still got it, dude! You know, for being a crusty old skeleton, this dude's got a heaping helping of aura and ass-kicking to dish out. Now, I just gotta talk about the arena a little bit because the snowy rooftop above all of Cainhurst is just an incredibly cinematic place to fight this guy. As for his attacks and his phases, the first and second phase are uniquely distinct from one another, with the first one focusing more on ranged magic attacks and the second one coming to get you. And speaking of those magic attacks, he's got a lot of really cool ones, especially the Sword Storm.
This guy's got no cheesy attacks, just pure raw aura, and a really just fun and challenging moveset. I love fighting Martyr Logarius every playthrough. This guy's going in A tier.
Up next, we have the Shadows of Yharnam, and I'm going to say a little spoiler here. These guys are in B tier, and I know what you're going to say. A gank fight in B tier? But let me speak. The fight takes place in a really nice open arena with lots of space to maneuver in, and it has a spot for cover from the ranged attacks. Plus, each of the shadows has a distinct role to play in the fight, meaning that they all just don't pile on you and attack you at the same time. And because there's 3 of them and they're all distinct, it gives you a freedom to decide who you want to kill first depending on who you find more annoying. And whenever you get into the second phase, it gives all the shadows these cool snake moves. But look at that stretchy arm. It'll stretch up behind you and go straight up your ass. Plus, come on guys. Getting jumped by a gang of dollar store ring wraiths is pretty awesome, you gotta admit.
FromSoft, you finally did it. You finally made a gank fight that's fun and engaging. I never thought I'd see the day, even though it's been 11 years since this game came out. But hey, I still think this is one of the best gank fights they've ever made. So, congratulations FromSoft, you were in Shadows of Yharnam, a solid B tier.
Up next, we have Rom, everyone's favorite Vacuous Spider. And I'm just gonna say right now, this fight is hard carried by the aesthetics, the arena, how you get into it, and the eldritch nature of what we're fighting. That's what really makes this fight so memorable. The arena itself is ethereal, stretching away into the distance forever like a dream. And Rom herself is the first boss in the game of an eldritch nature, and she definitely leaves an impression, although for many it's a pretty shitty one due to the fight itself, because the actual fight is kinda booty cheeks. All it is Rom running away while spamming magic and summoning her little goons to protect her. So you either have to make the decision to kill all of them, which takes forever, and then go finally smack her a couple times before she does it all again, or to just try and ignore them as best as you can until one of them dive bombs you like the most polite Japanese pilot in World War II. Although, at least she's not nearly as bad as another little shit later in the game.
Hey, sometimes rule of cool really carries you, and Rom is one cool motherfucker. So really just because of that, she's going in B tier.
Up next, we've got these creepy-ass bastards. It's no secret anymore that the hairy kidney stone creatures are scattered throughout the game prior to killing Rom, always just watching you from a distance. So actually getting to fight one is super exciting. It's a shame that the fight is piss easy though. Amygdala has perhaps the most exploitable weak spot out of any boss in the game, making this centuries-old, all-powerful eldritch deity extremely susceptible to getting its shit blown schmoove off. That aside, the design is horrifying, and it fights with such insectoid movement, and it gets so aggressive with its attacks near the end. I mean, it literally gets so mad that it rips its own two back arms off to use as a club against you. What the fuck? That's awesome! And shout out to that one attack where it just sprouts a bunch of eyes out of its head and starts shooting just actual fucking laser beams.
Weird, creepy, disgusting, all three things that really make a standout Bloodborne boss. Plus, just a lot of cool shit thrown in there too. How could I not put Amygdala in A tier?
Up next, we have one of the greatest disappointments of this game. And you know how FromSoft made a good gank fight with the Shadows of Yharnam? Well, now it's time for them to revert back to their old ways and make a shitty one again. This is, without a doubt, the laziest, non-just straight reused boss fight in the whole game. It's just a crowd of normal enemies, but woo, one of them is the one with the health bar and gets super big in phase 2. Ooh. The only thing that makes this fight even remotely challenging is the fact that the small guys continuously respawn, which is less fun and just more annoying. Just slap the space squid around until it stops moving like a sociopathic sushi chef, and it'll be over before you know it.
Little effort put in and little reaction as an output. It's not surprising, and well, that's really all it deserves. A solid D tier.
Up next, we have another fantastic hidden boss. And part of me wants to believe that the emissaries were so ass that they were a way of guiding players toward Ebrietas. And if so, FromSoft are a group of mad geniuses. The boss's arena itself is so beautiful. Just a massive, melancholic cave bearing the weight of its history on its back. And getting to fight the source of all the blood that caused the whole beastly scourge feels so climactic. And Ebrietas will be sure you feel that way because fuck, this fight can be tough. Also, even though she's an eldritch abomination that defies any and all understanding, isn't she kind of cute? I really dig the macaroni face, honestly. Most of her attacks are kind of lame, until she starts whipping out the cosmic blicky and blasting your ass with straight 9mm starlight. And although I hate this boss's second phase, I must admit, she is undoubtedly cool as fuck.
There's a lot more going to Ebrietas than there is to Rom though, and because of that, she's going to get a nice, hearty spot in A tier.
And speaking of disappointments, we have the One Reborn. So this is what Sid from Toy Story's been up to lately. This thing is yucky. Just straight up gross. Like supremely ew. It has so much build-up and an absolutely horrifying presence, only to just flail its limbs all over the place. Honestly, its backup squad of fireball grannies is sometimes more effective than it is. I will say, of its attacks, I do really like the one where it opens a portal to just drop gore on you. That's crazy. But honestly, I feel like the idea of a horrific ritual creating an artificial great one has so much potential for a boss fight, but it's just kind of wasted because he just stomps around like a baby.
Damn. They really just don't make great ones like they used to, huh? Looks like we're gonna need a second ritual of Mensis to try and make a better boss. But until that happens, One Reborn's going in C tier.
Alright, let's come down from that with something pretty simple. We've got Darkbeast Paarl, and he's a boss that is really easy to miss, and honestly, pretty forgettable too. The arena's really nothing special, and the music is good of course, but it's nothing spectacular. The fight itself is pretty by the numbers for a beast fight. It does earn some good cool bonus points for being one of the only examples we see of the Dark Beasts, which is awesome. I mean, look at it. It's a goddamn lightning beast.
A simple but very respectable boss that has a lot of really cool lore implications. And really because of that, he's gonna go in B tier.
From Software, or as some say, FromSoft. Do you hear our prayers? As you once did for the bed of chaos, grant us dog shit. Grant us dog shit. Yeah, up next we have Micolash, Bloodborne's infamous black sheep. But this black sheep hits you in the ankle with a baseball bat and summons tentacles in your toilet to molest you. Without a doubt, this is the single most frustrating boss fight in all of Bloodborne, and one of the most frustrating in FromSoft history. I mean, this guy has like no redeeming factors. His fit, goofy as fuck. His moveset, non-existent, save for 2 moves that can insta-kill you. And his whole gimmick? He just runs.
Run.
Always remember out there that cheesing this fight is never reprehensible, and anyone who says that it is, tell them to politely go fuck themselves.
Fuck this guy. Like the scumbag he is, he deserves only to get the D.
Moving on to the first of the 3 final bosses, we have Mergo's Wet Nurse. The nanny quite handy at severing your vitality. All blades and 0 corporeality, Mergo's Wet Nurse is like if an octopus went postal. Design is already so fucking awesome, like an evolution of the Shadows of Yharnam, but with a lot more going on. And granted, most of her moves are just sword attacks, but she has a really fun way of mixing it up with summoning a clone and making the arena really dark. Plus, the stakes of this fight were already established at the very beginning of the game, as killing Mergo has been the whole point of you even descending into the nightmare. I mean, why else would anyone willingly go to Birmingham?
Mergo is a very good final boss, but pales in comparison to the next 2. So, with all that being said, she's gonna get a nice solid A tier.
And up next, we've got an absolute goat. Yes, Gehrman. The boss no one saw coming. The dude who faked a disability just to mog us in his cutscene. This fight is genuinely one of FromSoft's best. Everything is perfect. The arena is gorgeous. Gehrman's moveset is diverse and full of spectacle. And the music. Oh my god, the music. The framing of this whole fight being a deathmatch of mercy is just so peak, dude! Plus, with the sheer amount of different moves that Gehrman can do between his first and second phase and in both different modes, it really does feel like you're fighting the first and greatest of all hunters.
This is one of my favorite boss fights of all time, if you could not tell, and I think it's completely deserved. Everything about this fight is absolutely masterfully done. I love it. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's going in S tier. Easy.
And then of course next we have the last and least the famous disappointment that is the moon presence. Everyone and their mom and their dog, and probably their cat too, know that the moon presence is pretty easy, especially compared to the powerhouse that Gehrman was. But from its appearance to its cutscene to its crazy moves, this thing is a flood of aura. You're fighting a true god. And as such, it has some really fucking cool moves it can do that most people don't even see because they kill it too fast. I love the evil red eye that drains your health to 1. It's really nerve-wracking until you know how to cheese it. Plus, there's these weird blood bubbles that seem to come up in random patterns and they stop you from healing, so that's another way it makes the fight more tense.
Rule of Cool's coming out on top again. I mean, is the moon presence the best final boss? No, not at all. But is it cool? Abso-fucking-lutely. So it's going in S tier.
Moving on to the phenomenal DLC, it starts with a bang. And by that, I mean a fucking nuke. Ludwig is one of FromSoft's most iconic boss fights, and for a very, very good reason. The arena and the lead up to this boss fight is absolutely horrifying. Just this massive, almost mausoleum of just dead bodies crushed and mangled together with this river of blood flowing down. The music is godly in this fight. First phase is fantastic, but then the second phase is what? This fight does seem very misleading at first. It kind of just seems like another beast fight, one that also screams a lot. But the second phase changes everything. Listen to this music swap. And after this, for the rest of the fight, you're basically fighting a completely different boss with a wholly different moveset and different levels of aggressiveness. Plus, dude, come the fuck on. This shot with the sword is so fucking tough. Oh my god.
A legendary hunter in life, and a legendary boss fight in the afterlife. What's more to say? Ludwig is absolutely incredible. He's getting an easy S tier. This motherfucker is eek.
Alright, that boss was fantastic. I think we need something kind of shitty now. Now we have Laurence. And, damn, I really didn't think the Emissaries had a competitor for the laziest boss fight. No other character in the game of importance has got done quite as dirty as Laurence. Because man's is literally just a reskin of the Cleric beast. Like, just 1-to-1. But hey, the fire's cool at least. The worst thing about this boss is the damage scaling. It's like if you were to be introduced to the idea of pain by someone flicking you, and then getting your kneecaps blown off.
Yeah, sorry, Laurence. Unlike Ludwig, you lost all your aura when you died, man. Your fight kind of fucking blows. Actually, it really fucking blows. I take that back. You're going in D tier.
And hey, speaking of the Emissaries, here's their much cooler counterpart, the Living Failures. I must say, the Glorp Shit, Glonkel, and Greeble gang are much more fun than the Emissaries. They do infinitely spawn, but unlike the Emissaries, all of the different Living Failures share the same health pool, so it doesn't matter who you're attacking. And there's a little bit of diversity too. Some of them stay back and cast spells, and some of them just throw straight hands. And the arena is absolutely gorgeous, taking place in this Lumen Flower Garden. Plus, this is another example of FromSoft making a song that is way too good for what this fight is. And of course, special shout out to that insane meteor attack that they do, where they literally just open like a fucking wormhole or something and just cast meteors from space at you. I mean, dog, what? That is so cool.
A boss fight that came absolutely out of the blue, but still managed to be pretty good, all things considered. And there's just certain elements that really elevate this boss fight above some others, so I'm gonna say this is a pretty easy B tier, I'm not gonna lie.
Next we have Lady Maria. And finally, it's time for a non-beast woman to start aura farming. And by Kos, does she aura farm. She's got some cool as fuck weapons and a moveset, which only gets cooler with each of the phases, starting with just basic attacks before then she tries to do Sudoku on herself, and then getting blood attacks for everything, before then finally in her third phase getting even longer range and it becomes Blood Flame. And all throughout she is incredibly agile, forcing you to stay on your toes, because she can close the gap between you instantly, no matter how far you are. Plus, the arena itself, as well as the significance of this fight, really feels like the final step before you figure out the awful truth of this horrible dimension that the hunters are trapped in.
There's not many bosses I really would say this for FromSoft games, but genuinely I feel like the biggest complaint I have about Lady Maria's fight is that I think it doesn't last long enough. I think it's just over too soon. She doesn't have enough health. But it's still a phenomenal fight. I love it every time I play the DLC. I always look forward to it. Nothing more to say, honestly. It's going in S tier.
And finally, we have the Orphan of Kos. The final boss of the DLC does not disappoint. The whole vibe of this fight is just misery. The host of this hell is a newborn infant of a dead god taking its first agonizing steps into the world. The overcast beach, the endless ocean with all the sunken ships, it all makes this spot feel like the end of reality, or more accurately, the birth of this reality. Okay, analysis over. Time to get waffle stomped by a baby. This is a brutally hard fight, as the final boss should be, and it only has a few kind of shitty attacks, but for the most part, it's pretty fair. Plus, the idea of this newborn using a placenta as its weapon is just so creatively fucked up. Plus, Phase 2 gets batshit insane with some of the attacks he can do and with how fast he moves. By God. I mean, dude, calling lightning down from the heavens using your dead mother's body is crazy work.
What a thematically satisfying conclusion to the DLC, and in a way, the game as a whole. It's a dreadfully miserable fight, but it ties it all up in a nice bow at the end. So, really, I love this guy a lot. I don't think he's as good as some of the best, just because of the fight itself, but I do love everything surrounding the boss fight. It's gonna get a nice, solid A tier. So that's it. Every Bloodborne boss ranked on coolness. But wait, at the start of this video, I promised I'd tell you who is the coolest. And there can only be one, right? Well, drum roll please. It's Gehrman. It's Gehrman. Light work, no reaction, woo!